Are you guys good on sound? Okay, great. No? The music? Okay, we'll turn the music down. Are you good? Okay, everybody's great. All right, we're going to get started soon.
Good morning. I want to thank the City Councilwoman and the Mayor for welcoming us to the great city of Inglewood. Mayor Butts likes it when I say that, the great city of Inglewood. And I'd like to welcome everyone here today. I'm proud to be here to celebrate today, October 10th, 2023, the first LA County Black Brewers Day. Give them a round of applause. On October 10th, just give you a little history lesson, so we all understand why that's relevant. October 10th, 1970, Theodore Ted Mack Sr. became the first black brewery owner when he purchased People's Brewery Company in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Ted was born a sharecropper in rural Alabama in 1930, fought in the Korean War, and played football at Ohio State while earning his degree. A true all-American kind of guy, sounds like to me. After graduating college, he set his goal and created a plan to purchase People's Brewing Company. He could not have imagined that in 1970, he and his business would be impacted by the racial bigotry he actively fought against in the 1960s. And here we are today, over 50 years later, from the first black brewer owner, and the brewing industry continues to struggle with inclusion and racial equity, with only 1% of craft brewers across the country being black-owned. Craft breweries moving into up-and-coming communities has long been a sign of gentrification. So honoring the legacy and contribution of black brewers speaks to the diversity and cultural tapestry of our breweries in our home county of Los Angeles. Let's get down to the brass economic impact of it all. Craft breweries in this county, LA, have grown 45% since 2015. These businesses provide a pathway to build wealth and expand community. People of color continue, however, to be left out of these traditional forms of access to capital. One perfect example is right here at Crowns Hops, a black woman-owned brewery in the city of Inglewood that I'm proud to say serves as a community partner and incubation space for other entrepreneurs. They've had a tough go of it, I think it's fair for us all to acknowledge, right? Took 2 years to entitle the brewery's first tap room here in the city of Inglewood, and high pre-development costs have really been very, very difficult. That's why the 3 levels of government are here to try to stand in the gap and support you. And that's why this last week, I successfully introduced a motion to establish October 10th as LA County's Black Brewers Day. The LA County Department of Economic Opportunity is here, and we'll look at how we at the county can provide more flexible forms of capital for our entrepreneurs who've been left out of traditional banking relationships. I want to acknowledge again my former colleague from the state legislature, Senator Steve Bradford, who represents Inglewood. And want to acknowledge Mayor Butts, who we will hear from shortly. But now let me bring up my county partner, because it's great to declare the day, but government has to bring action to these kind of declarations. You feel me? So I want to introduce you to Kelly Lobianco, the director of LA County's Department of Economic Opportunity, to share a few words and opportunities this new county department can bring to community-based, minority, women-owned businesses across the county. Kelly, come on up.
Thank you, Supervisor. Happy Black Brewers Day, everybody. We're going to first bring up Mayor Butts, and I'll be back up here in just a second. Mayor Butts, please join us. Thank you.
Well, good morning. First, I want to thank the supervisor. Supervisor Mitchell spends a lot of time in Inglewood, and there's a good reason for that. But when I saw the Black Brewers Day, I said, how come I don't know anything about Black Brewers Day? And it's because she made it up.
Right. To help the Black Brewers.
To help. All right. And this particular site right here used to be the Joshua's Club when I was a policeman here in the 70s. And it lay dormant and vacant. It was a senior care home for a while, and it's just been vacant. And so we're so happy to have Crowns Hops here to give it life again. Now, you know, one of the things about Inglewood, you know, we're in the flight path, right? And so the planes flying overhead used to be a symbol of blight here, and now it's like our trademark, right? Because it says we're within a mile and a half of the second busiest airport in the country. And look how the city has turned around and how it's manifested itself as far as economics and jobs and generational wealth now generated for our residents. You know, we have $1 million homes in Inglewood now. And so we really want to welcome Crowns Hops because you become part of this mosaic, this fabric of minority success. And for it to be a woman-owned and operated business, again, speaks volumes. So I want to thank the supervisor for creating this day, Black Brewers Day in LA County. And I want to introduce Senator Steve Bradford, longtime supporter of Inglewood. Can we have a big hand for him?
Thank you. Good morning. I am truly excited to join my colleagues, Supervisor Mitchell, in recognizing and commemorating the first annual Black Brewers Day of LA County. I want to thank the supervisor for her visionary leadership and introducing a motion to proclaim October 10th, 2023 as Black Brewers Day in LA County. Earlier in the year, I introduced Senate Resolution 47 at the state capitol, which established October 10th, 2023 as Black Brewers Day throughout the state of California. So I'm happy to join with this. The legacy of black brewing and entrepreneurship would be incomplete if we didn't recognize Ted Mack, as the supervisor mentioned. On October 10th in 1970, Mr. Mack and his business associates celebrated purchasing the People's Brewing Company in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, with over 2,000 guests, dignitaries, elected officials, and stakeholders in attendance. He became the first black brewery president in the United States, and People's Brewing Company became the first black-owned brewery in the history of the United States. Currently, as the supervisor stated, there's over 10,000 craft brewers in this country, yet only 1% are African-American owned. So we need to give these visionary owners a round of applause for their leadership, their stick-to-itness. California now is the home of 10 black breweries, including those serving the residents here in my district, Crowns Hops Brewing Company, People's Republic of South Central and South Los Angeles. And earlier this year, the National Black Brewers Association was formed in Sacramento to recognize and celebrate the achievements and contributions of black brewers in California and across this nation. These pioneering entrepreneurs have overcome challenges, as the supervisor stated, and barriers of racism to establish themselves as pillars of this craft beer community, inspiring others and breaking down barriers of racial inequality. The National Black Brewers Association is the nation's first nonprofit organization to promote black brewing community and increase the number of African Americans in the brewing industry at all levels, and fostering the historical significance and the legacy surrounding black brewing in the United States. Today, we celebrate the first annual Black Brewers Day and show our commitment to the black entrepreneurs who showcase their passion, creativity, and dedication to this craft. And this weekend in Sacramento, former Mayor Kevin Johnson and the National Black Brewers Association will be hosting the People's Best Beer Fest, the first to recognize, I should say, the first Black Brewers Day in Sacramento and celebrate its diversity. And Ted Mack Jr. will be there. The son of Ted Mack, the owner, will be in attendance that day. I would also like to congratulate T.O. Hunter and Benny Ashburn for opening this Black-owned, women-owned, and veteran-owned business and tap room of this kind in LA County. Again, congratulations on behalf of the state of California. And now I would like to bring up Kelly LaBianco, the director of LA County Department of Economic Opportunity. Thank you.
Hi, all. All right. Good morning. My name is Kelly LoBianco, and I'm the director of the LA County Department of Economic Opportunity. I couldn't be more thrilled to be here today. I'm so happy to be here to celebrate this momentous occasion. I'm so happy to be here at the new site of Crowns Hops, and also, to share a little bit about how your vision for this brewery and this community space inspired us at LA County, and also how it will inspire more entrepreneurs throughout our region. Our department, the Department of Economic Opportunity, was created by the supervisor and her colleagues just over 1 year ago as the county's first economic and workforce development department, and as a real commitment to a more equitable economy as we emerged from the pandemic. We know that the pandemic impacted everybody, but not equally, and it highlighted the continued disparities faced by many workers and small businesses, especially women and people of color. We know that it cost us 700,000 jobs, 15,000 shuttered businesses in the first 2 months alone. The impact was really real and great. So we're so happy to be here as a new department to serve you and to serve our community. We see ourselves as entrepreneurs too. I was just telling Tio that this earlier today. We not only advocate for small businesses and our workers, but we try to embody your spirit. You don't start a new department every day, and you need that spirit to think boldly and differently, and we value that. When we look back on the history of today, we talked a little bit about Ted Mack Sr. He started with an SBA loan. The SBA, the Small Business Administration, those are our federal counterparts here at the Department of Economic Opportunity. We know how transformative that early capital is, and the role the public sector needs to play in making that capital more accessible. While dollars are key for startup and property, especially in a county like this where we know affordability is at a real crisis level, we also know how important meeting folks where they are is, offering technical assistance, providing no-cost legal support, and more seamless navigation of government and real estate. Thanks to Supervisor Mitchell, she passed a motion earlier this month that not only proclaimed today Black Brewers Today, which is an amazing thing, but also doubling down on our commitment to small businesses. Right now, small businesses can come to DEO for a lot of things. You can come for our small business concierge for one-on-one support, to get certified for local, state, and federal contracting, and to connect to a lawyer at no cost to help you get established or negotiate your commercial lease. But we are proud to be doing more. Just in the course of the last year, we've been putting more than $50 million in grants to small businesses and nonprofits out there through our Economic Opportunity Grant Program. We put another $1 billion of county procurement dollars in the pockets of our small businesses who are certified through the county. We also supported folks in staying safe. We supported 38,000 small businesses with 15 million units of PPE and 500,000 test kits as we weathered the storm. In the coming months, if you stay in touch with us, you're going to see a lot more. We're excited to launch a network of entrepreneur academies, employee ownership service, and commercial acquisition funds that are relevant to some of our conversations today as part of the Supervisor's Economic Mobility Initiative. We're also going to make sure that the grants that we saw during the pandemic aren't a one-time thing to help us recover from a major momentous event, but that we actually have no-cost, low-cost grants and loans available to you all the time. We know that investments now are investments in our future and in our economy. We have more than 1 million small businesses here in LA County. That is huge. We know that they contribute to our job creation, to our hiring, to our labor earnings, to our GDP and growth, our commercial revitalization, which you see right behind us, and our overall cultural fabric. It's important that we shop local and that we can commit to our small businesses. one of the things I did want to mention before I get off the stage and present to you the folks that you really want to hear from is that thanks to the supervisor and the board of supervisors, we launched the Shop Local LA County campaign, and so we're really excited to be able to highlight Crowns and Hops as part of that, as well as many other small businesses in the region. Follow us at shoplocal.la. But thank you so much. I'm really, really excited to be here, really proud to be part of this movement, excited to see what this small business can do for our community. And now I'm excited to bring up Teo and Benny.
Let me just say, as they come up, I teased them both this past Tuesday at the board meeting and said, well, you know, I'm not a beer drinker, but I respect the hustle, and the cans are gorgeous. So I want to acknowledge what I do consume. Hello, Sip and Sunder. Thank you for being here today. Appreciate you. I see my Lamert Park businesses. I see Hank's Mini Market. So it's wonderful to see everybody here. And I just want to make sure you all are clear. Make Department of Economic Opportunity your friend. I hope you heard what everything Kelly said about our commitment to helping small businesses. You didn't talk about the facade improvement program that we did along the Vermont corridor. It's lots of good work. I am so deeply proud to be a part of the county family because the county has stepped up in a meaningful and profound way to declare it Black Brewers Day, but to also put your money where our shared commitment lies in our small businesses in our community. Does that work for you, Councilwoman? Since we are sitting here in District 1, are we in District 1? Thank you, Councilwoman Gray. All right, take it away.
All right. All right, I do not have a speech prepared, so I'm just going to talk from the heart because there are people here that have watched me and Teo build this brand for 7 years. Many of you don't know about us because we've been on shelves since 2020, but we committed to driving and changing racial equity inside of craft beer 7 years ago. Teo introduced me to craft beer. If you would have asked me 10 years ago, would I be doing beer, I would have probably told you no. But what I have fallen in love with inside of craft beer is the culture. It's the community, it's the people, it's the energy, it's the family, it's the connections, it's the space that we have been missing in the city of LA for a really, really long time. There isn't a place where we can go that I feel like I can go where I can really feel and see myself. And the craft beer community is really based around that. We knew when we started this 7 years ago that Crowns and Hops, or originally it was Dope and Dank, just so you know. We've had some evolutions of our brand over the years. That this would be bigger than beer. To say we'd be standing here on October 10th celebrating National Black Brewers Day, I do not know. We thought that would be the case, but we are very honored to be able to be a part of that experience, to be a part of that messaging. This has been hard. I will tell you, this has been hard. When we started 7 years ago, yes, there were other black breweries, but I'll say me and Teo were the loudest and most audacious. And we were the boldest, and we put ourselves in the front line and dealt with whatever came our way because we're pretty tough. And it wasn't until recently when we were finally honest about the struggles that we're having with building this very capital intensive experience that the LA County stepped up. City of Inglewood, we're hoping, will also be stepping up. And the rest of our community, which you're seeing here today, is stepping up and showing us support. And we are very grateful for it. This has been hard, but this is only the beginning. And to that, I say cheers to National Black Brewers Day.
Oh, man, I'm going to try my best to not be long-winded. First and foremost, Supervisor Holly Mitchell. We have stood in line for sandwiches. We have stood next to each other in festivals. Oh, Johnny's. I mean, they be killing it. I have to thank my father for showing up, Mr. Teddy Hunter, my incredible partner, Lynette Coste, and my little assistant brewer, my incredible daughter, where you at, Talia? Bam, and her sisters, Kalia and Soraya, who could not be here, I'm grateful for their grace because, like Benny just mentioned, it has been incredibly difficult. I was going to read a speech, but then when I looked out in this audience, I realized that literally every aspect of my speech is sitting and standing in this audience right now. From a home brewer, a black home brewer that I met who focuses on the nuances of creating recipes that a Crowns and Hops would scale, to an incredible brewery owner in the People's Republic of South Central who we met in our first ever activation, where I invited the first professional brewer that I ever met in Sam over at People's Republic as well, to a gentleman who I coached my kids with in Dio. Like literally my entire life is sitting in front of me, and it also is indicative of why this space is so incredibly important. I also see all of the entrepreneurs from Lamert Park, from Inglewood, from Long Beach, from my brewing community, from clothing, from everywhere, who have had a rough go. They have had a rough time because they did not understand that either there were people in government, that there were people in the city, that there were people that actually had access to the ability of laddering into the capital that's needed in order to complete these projects. There are so many people out here that are struggling on the cusp of literally the last dollars they have in their accounts, not knowing that they could reach out to the County of Los Angeles, to the City of Inglewood, to the City of Glendale, to all these cities that are in LA County for the assistance that's needed to be an incubator for their community. We're not just going to be a brewery. We're going to be a laboratory. We're going to be a production facility. We're going to be a marketing company. We're going to be a restaurant. We're going to be specializing in hospitality. We're going to give opportunities to entertainers and to public speakers and to the next line of congressmen and congresswomen and leaders of our community. That's what this building represents. One of the things that Mayor Butch made me aware of, one of the first times that I ever heard him speak, was that in the 1920s and 30s, that Inglewood was the home of the KKK, the Ku Klux Klan. I had never heard that fact before in my life. The first thing that this building ever was in history was a bowling alley from the 1930s around to the 1940s. I'd find it hard to believe that black people were welcome in this building. And what I'm telling you today is that what Benny and I are building in Crowns Inglewood, what we're building in Crowns and Hops, being one of the nation's first craft breweries that shows that black excellence and brown excellence can live and exist and flourish in an industry that hasn't seen us. I'm telling you, this is the flagship. This is the home. This is the place where everybody will travel around the world to see what we're building in Los Angeles County. But again, I have to I'm deputizing all of you to give us a line that we can build and bring this to fruition. I'm telling you, once this thing comes, you will be so proud. You'll be so excited to see this thing exist. I'm going to get off of this soapbox. It's a big, black, wide soapbox, but I'm going to get off of it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All the OGFCs, all the entrepreneurs, thank you.
So since we declared it official Black Brewers Day, a day wouldn't be such without an official scroll, right? So here's the County of Los Angeles. I love the fact that the calligrapher for the county got Crowns and Hops right. Isn't that beautiful? So it has a bunch of whereases. It's a 5-signature proclamation, which is a pretty big deal, which means all 5 female members of the LA County Board of Supervisors voted on the motion unanimously and signed the scroll. Let me present this to you all. Oh, thank you. So you've heard a lot of information. We've heard lots of businesses that are here. We hope that we've got lots of press, which is amazing. Any questions of any of us?
Yes, the beer is delicious.
Yes. and no, we cannot serve it today. But you can get it in your local retail store, Hanks.
Beautiful. Questions? Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Why'd you have to say 5 female supervisors?
else is all there is.
Because it's a statement of fact, Mr. Mayor. It's a mere statement of fact. Right, Councilwoman? It's a statement of fact. Any questions? Any?
Good question, Dad.
You know what? That's why you bring your daddy to the press conference, to break it down. Ms. LoBianchi, you want to talk about availability generally of funding? Come on up. And then maybe, I don't know if representatives from the city of Inglewood want to talk about the ways in which the city will be supportive as well.
Sure. A couple things that we're going to do immediately following this is, if you read the motion that Supervisor Mitchell put out, we're looking at our own catalytic development funds within the Department of Economic Opportunity. We're also going to make sure that we're connecting Crowns and Hops to our SBA partners and anything else that we can pull together. So we're excited to start that process right away together.
So, Dad, the short answer is sometimes government moves kind of slow. But we put a motion in place. We have a department whose job it is to be supportive of businesses like Crown and Hops. And so we're going to move the resources that we can at the county level, going to hopefully engage our other government partners, state and City of Inglewood, to figure out ways in which they can be supportive. Either, with resources, help with all of the other kind of government-focused administrative challenges. We're going to lean in. Mr. Mayor?
All right. Since it's like Dad put us like up front like this, so understand this. Right now in the City of Inglewood, we have a Champions Grant process, but that was set up to help businesses that had been in Inglewood through the pandemic and suffered losses, and the grants are up to $20,000. So they don't qualify under that. But when that process is done, we'll be looking at our opportunities where we can legally, and that's the big word, legally provide financial assistance to, up-and-coming businesses, and we're going to have to figure that out. So that's the straight and direct answer.
Perfect.
All right.
But we know with the mayor here and the councilwoman here, it's going to happen. I have full faith in the City of Inglewood. There's all kind of ways in which government can be supportive. You talked about some of your the delays you've experienced and how that compromised your financial viability. So there's all kind of ways government can step in and see what we can do. Of course, always legally. Of course, always above board and transparently, Dad. Any other questions? Yes. Excellent question.
Thank you. I think my answer is going to be a little bit similar to the one that I just had, that sometimes it depends on the particular situation, but there are different things we can do. The supervisor mentioned the Renovate program, right? We have a facade improvement program where we're able to invest in the upgrading of facades, lighting, paint, ADA compliance, all that. We have opportunities to connect to sometimes one-time grant opportunities that you don't have to pay back. Like I mentioned, we just put $50 million out there, and we're always looking to connect folks to either dollars that we have through the county or through our partner agencies. Like, for example, I know that the PACE organization has grants out right now that you don't have to pay back. And so part of our job is to make sure that whether it's a grant or a loan or a program that you don't have to pay for, that we connect you to the right thing that is available right now for you.
So that's why I said make sure you get Kelly's card and make the Department of Economic Opportunity your best friend. Yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Beautiful. Beautiful. I appreciate that. If you couldn't hear him, he said this is his neighborhood. I believe you said that this has been a sore thumb in the neighborhood, and so you are proud, very proud, to hear about the vision and commitment. He's going to take it back and tell all of his family, friends, and neighbors.
Tell them
All right. Beautiful. Beautiful. That's right. So the mayor said it's he and Councilwoman Gray's neighborhood too. So it's everybody's neighborhood today, right? I'm honorary today. Any other questions or comments? Okay, we're going to take a picture. Senator Bradford, I know you brought a Senate resolution. Why don't you come on up? Councilwoman, please join us. Mr. Mayor, let's take a picture. We're going to face that way so we can get your appropriate signage. Come forward. Go step forward. They're trying to get the...